Hello, everyone. I'm Anjali Dua presenting to you today's show of Chai Chat and Community, where we discuss issues that are unheard, unspoken, yet very important to us. In conversation with Mojtaba Basi and Behram Saidian, we proceed with the topic of our meeting, that is, the struggles of separation of COVID of our loved ones and family sacrifices that we have been making through the entire duration of COVID, and unfortunately, even now. Without further ado, I would like our speakers to introduce themselves in front of a lovely audience. Let's maybe start with Moshtaba itself.
Hi, Anjali. Hi, Behram. And hi to the audience watching this. My name is Mojtaba Basi, and I am 25 years old. And I am, I guess, mostly from Mumbai, India, and partially from Iran. Maybe towards the show, when I'll speak about myself, you'll get to know why I chose both the cities. So I have done my mechanical engineering from Mumbai. And right after my graduation, I've come to Australia to the University of Melbourne, where I started my master's in management. And this is my final semester here. And hopefully in July, I'll have graduated. And hopefully by then, the COVID is all gone, everybody's vaccinated, and we're all happy and smiling. Yeah, so that's me.
Amazing. Thank you, Moshtaba. What about you, Behram?
Hi everybody, thank you Anjali for inviting me. I'm Bahram Saidian. I'm PhD student at the University of Melbourne. I'm from Iran. I studied a bachelor's and a master's in Iran. I'm 30 years old. So this is the first year I'm living in Melbourne, and I'm so happy to be here, and it is good opportunity for me to speak about myself and my experience during this, I think 1 year and a half. Yeah.
That's amazing, Behram and Moshtaba. So it's a pleasure to have both of you. And I feel for us, it's a very, very important topic since being an international student and also going through the pining struggles away from family. I would like to quote my favorite quote that says that perhaps the sweetest sorrow in parting is not knowing where you will see the other person the next time. So definitely it is certainly the case for many couples, families, friends who are here, who are caught off guard when countries successively announced lockdowns and travel restrictions to contain coronavirus. So, how was his experience during COVID? I would also want you to extrapolate the course of relationship you went through away from family or even wife or even your dearest friends. So maybe let's start from Moshtaba itself.
Thanks a lot, Anjali. I think one of the statements you made really resonated with me, where you spoke about when you're saying goodbye to somebody, you really never know when that goodbye will end, and then when's the next time you would be seeing that person. So I guess that's really true for my case, and I guess a lot of other international students, and I'm sure Behram as well. So for me personally, it was February. It was during the second week of February when I met last my family, my father, my mother, and two of my sisters back in India. And I guess for us, it was a normal goodbye. We thought like I'll be going to Melbourne, and then I'll be finishing my 2 semesters, and then I'll be back by November, December again for the summer vacations. So everything was planned. Everything was up to the mark. Although there was hints of coronavirus starting from January last year, but I guess it was like any other virus which had come the last 5 6 years. We had Ebola and so many other viruses which came. They had their phase, and then it was nothing that anybody had seen before. So our expectations were quite normal, although we were a bit scared with like what's going on in the world, but we never expected it to escalate to what it has been. And I'm sure that's the case for everyone in the world. So the special case about me was the fact that like my family, we moved to India around 18, 19 years ago. Uh, since then, so we were the only one of our own community, of our own culture in Mumbai. There were the Iranians as well, but very few cohort. So we were quite close knit family because like we did not have any other relative to go to during the cultural events, religious events. So what we had was us. So we were quite close, we were quite connected, and uh, last year, just when COVID hit, my family decided to move back to Iran permanently. So we had that thought to last 3 4 years that we were slowly and slowly planning to go back to our homeland. But when coronavirus hit, it just uh, escalated the process. Uh, India wasn't so safe at the time, and then we thought, well, if we're gonna move back next year, why not just move back within a month? Uh, because at the end, it's the safety of the family which matters a lot. So the decision was made, and within a month, we packed everything up. Like my family packed everything up, and then they had to go back. So the case for me was being the eldest child, and above that being the only son. I guess still in the Middle Eastern community, and I guess the subcontinent as well, being the eldest child, and apart from that being the son, there's a lot of spoken and unspoken responsibilities which are there on your shoulder, which your family expects, which your extended family expects, which the society expects. And it was something that even me as a person really wanted to be there when such a big decision was being made for my family, to be there for them as an emotional support, to be there for my sisters when they have to suddenly say goodbye to their friends, say goodbye to the place that they've been at last 16, 17, 18 years, and then suddenly move back to a country which we knew. So we would visit Iran once a year for a few weeks. So we knew the country, but at the end of the day, it's a new journey, it's a new beginning. And because of COVID, I was not able to go back. And that really broke me from inside, not being able to be next to my mother when she was really confused about the decision. So I remember speaking with her through so many telephones, and she was confused whether it's the right time, whether this is the right decision that they're making, or is it too soon, or even worse, is it too late? Should have they gone back years before? So all I could do was just give her moral support through telephone, which was the best I could do. But I feel it wasn't something I was proud of. And the only thing which kept me going was the fact that I saw from my parents' side, they did not show a hint of expectations, and they never made me believe that they are missing me, which is a really positive thing from their side. So that made me stronger, seeing them. So what they presented was that everything's fine, there's all good. There's no need for you to be there, and yeah, I guess that kept me going. And apart from that, for my younger sister, so imagine a 10, 11-year-old girl leaving her school, leaving her friends, and then going into a new country, into a new community, into a new language, and then having to start developing friends and relationships from the beginning. So that's a really tough thing to have a young girl go through. I'm sure we all know that making friends is not really easy, especially if you're a bit of an introvert, like what my sister was. And on top of that, it was an online session. So it was tough for her making friends. So I would have really wanted to be there, so that, there's somebody for her to talk to, because I was really close to my younger sister. She would really open up to me, talk to me about her school. And that really hurt me, not being able to be there for them at the time when it really mattered. So my first day in Melbourne, everything was fine. Nothing major happened. So I came in Feb, I went back in November, and everything was normal. But last year was the year that my family needed me the most, and I wasn't able to be there for them. So yeah, that's for me.
Thank you, Mojtaba. I feel that must have been very emotionally, you must have been going through a lot of emotionally turmoils. You would have been very devastated. Some feelings that I know I would not be able to understand, but it's only you going through the same simulation could get through it. But I really like how there was a sense of responsibility within you for going through, for letting them know that you are there, still there, despite not being there physically. What about you, Behram? How was your story, and how did COVID turn your story maybe into a magical one or not so magical one?
Yeah, thank you, Anjali. I'm from a big family. I have four siblings, and I'm the youngest. So same as other youngest children in a family, all of my family members like me, and I like them too much. So for me, going abroad was a bit tough. Uh, I think I got my visa in November 2019, and after that, uh, I came here, and after 1 month COVID and living alone was very difficult for me. I was from a big family. It was crowded when I was in Iran, and uh, here in Melbourne, and nothing happened, and no, I couldn't see anyone. So that was one part of my story, but the main part was about my marriage, my wife. Uh, I I met my wife three 3 months, 4 months before coming to Melbourne. So uh, she is my first, unfortunately last love. So before her, I didn't fall in love with any girl, and even I didn't have any relationship. So there is a very tight, tight relationship between me and my wife. So after 2 months, we decided to marry. We decided, and we married, and 1 week after that I came to Melbourne because she was waiting for her visa and she couldn't come with me. So I remember in the airport, my family, my parents, my siblings, and my wife came to say goodbye to me, and all of us cried too much because it was the first time I I came to abroad and I left my family. Uh, but uh, but I supposed to see my wife after 2 3 months. So because of that, I was a bit happy. I married, and I thought that my wife will come soon. And then I remember I said goodbye to my parents and we cried. I said goodbye to my brothers, sisters, and I couldn't stop myself from crying. But when I wanted to say goodbye to my wife, I laughed and I said her, "Why are you crying? We will see each other by 2, 3 months." So I remember that situation. So so I came here, and migration and the psychologist perspective view, migration is one of the most difficult decision in everyone's life. They rank this as a three top difficult decision in all over everyone's life. So I came here, and honestly, I was quite new in English, and I started speaking English when I came here. Before that, I just studied for IELTS exam for university requirement. Uh, so English language, new culture, living without family, living my wife were very tough. But after 1 month, COVID happened. So my wife didn't get her visa, and after getting a visa, she couldn't come, and still she cannot come. So everything changed, and now I haven't seen my wife since January 2020. But I could and still I can control this situation because this is life. We cannot control anything. We should find solution in any situation. Uh, I know it is for all people. For all people, this situation, COVID, is a actually is a bad situation. But we have to survive. We have to control it. Yes.
Definitely,
So
Behram.
for me, actually, for me it was a bit difficult because I have to study, I have to control myself, and I have to speak with my wife. And actually, you know, female are a bit emotional than male. So because of
Right,
that,
definitely.
yeah, it was a yeah, was a bit tough situation for me, but uh, hopefully I could and I can control it.
I really liked one thing which Behram said, that like in every difficulty, I guess that's what he meant. In every difficulty, it's we should look for the positive light out of it and like look
Yeah,
towards that
yeah,
as
yeah,
support, as
exactly,
motivation, as inspiration.
exactly.
Yeah.
Moshtaba, life is full of uncertainty, and
Right, definitely.
yeah, we have to understand this. Imagine you have a children and he or she gets cancer. I think this situation is much more better than that situation. So we have to
Yeah.
learn not be too sad or too happy in any situation, because
That
everything will pass, and this is one step, only one step in
Yeah.
life. Yeah, in life.
And I feel like maybe 5 years down the line, when you look back at this situation, and as you've grown as a person in the next 5 years, this will just come to something really small and really naive.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
like even today, if you look back at your struggles 10 years before, so at the time it was something huge. But as time passes, you become stronger, and then the past difficulties just come to nothing. So yeah, I really liked what you said, to look at the positive light in every situation.
Yeah, that's amazing positive motivation. And I feel the determination that you both had going through the most difficult stage of life, yet being very strong, not only for yourself but also for your family who are really seeing yourself. For Behram, it must be their his wife, and for Mojtaba, it's definitely your family. It must be very difficult, to curtain your emotions, not letting them know how you miss them, but also missing them very dearly. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I remember my time when my parents would really want me back because it had been more than a year now since they have seen me. But I couldn't go because of the uncertainty of not being able to come back. Out of all the country, I feel Australia was very strict enough to not let the borders, just like not let any infusion of any virus, and curb this by not letting any free flow of entry and exit. And this is why I was very scared of going back to India. But in the meantime, I didn't know how to justify the decision, where though I was missing them, but also I wanted to prove myself doing something over here, because I knew the moment I go there I won't be able to come back soon. But this is a very vicious circle where you want to also go back but also can't go back. And as an international student, I feel during the process, though I was blessed with adequate resources of university taking care of us, of our friends, still there was a tender voidness that was there in my heart of being very lonely. And with lonely, I would say that social loneliness. Sometimes I would want to just re-embrace the time when I used to hug my parents, or would share moments where I'm not guilty or not embarrassed sharing with. That might be with someone over here. So do you think you went through the similar kind of loneliness, um, while trying to be strong and also curbing your emotions of not missing them?
I feel for me, it did happen. So it's a cyclical thing, I feel. So when certain events come up, uh, especially cultural events, or wherein there's something important happening within your family, so that's the time where you miss them more, because that's the time where you're together, and then you're sharing the laughter, you're sharing a meal together. So, and apart from that, I guess being culturally kind of void over here. So uh, when certain events come up, you would want to get that vibe. Like it's like Christmas. So you get the Christmas vibe in the city. When we're back in India, when it's Diwali, you will get the Diwali vibes. So I feel obviously it's being a multicultural city. Melbourne caters to most cultures, but at the end of the day, you would want to be in a cohort wherein there are like-minded people, where are people who share your beliefs, share your vision, share your culture. So that was a time when I miss them the most. But at the same time, so one thing which my mother did, and I came to know about it quite a lot later, was when there would be certain events, or when there would be people coming to our house, or where there would be going out somewhere. So my mother would never share that with me. And the reason was that she did not want me to feel left out. So, and she had told even to my sisters and even to my father that not to let him know, or don't share the pictures in the family group. So that was something really sweet, which I came to know a bit later. So I haven't really confronted her about that. So because I really respect the decision she's made, but that was something really. So it was just a soft touch, but at the same time quite sweet of her to do that. So yeah.
Amazing. You
Yeah,
actually touched on a very important issue of cultural loneliness. We usually talk about the personal loneliness or the social loneliness, but very rarely we talk about cultural loneliness of being able to find same culture networks. And I feel it's also not a universal panacea, but we can't substitute our adequate pastoral care that we receive from Melbourne, despite being a very multi community. But we would still want a hint of our culture where we tend to, celebrate the same festivities, ceremonies with our family, with group of people who know what we need to do. So definitely, thank you so much for raising an important issue, Mujtaba. And yes, Behran, coming to you now.
yeah, yeah. Mojtaba, I think Mojtaba said the exact point. I did that, had such experience. I remember in Valentine's Day. Actually, I missed two Valentines in 2020 and 2021, and I missed my anniversary. I missed my wife's birthday in 2020 and 21. Uh, she she missed my birthday as well. Uh, Apart from this, as Mojtaba said, some special ceremonies, some special events. For example, 2 days later, it is uh, Iranian happy Iranian New Year, and my yeah, my wife, her family, and my family will gather together, and they will call me, but I'm here and I'm not alone. Thanks to my flatmates, I have two flatmates, and we are close friends. I have some other close friend here, and all of them are supporting me. I have 5, 6 Indian friends here, and they celebrated my anniversary. They surprised me. Uh, we are celebrating our birthday, but when when your family gathered together and called you, and you wish you could be there.
Right,
That
right,
time,
definitely.
yeah, that time, uh, yeah, that time is a bit is difficult for me, and I feel loneliness in that situation.
Definitely, Behram. Your deep thoughts have really I'm even saddened with your experience because all the first things, first anniversary or first festivities that you wish to share with your wife, because she is an
Yeah,
apparently new member of a new person in your life, you're not able to do it. And you would always wish to have her while you go through everything alone. And I feel no
yeah,
amount of
yeah,
video calls could give you the same personal effect had it been in person. Definitely, it can help us or compensate to the some degree, but definitely you'll feel the isolation or separation even now and then. So
yeah,
thank you so much for sharing this. But I was being very curious since I know what you all went through, and that was very heart wrenching. So, what techniques or channels or how did you cope up to it? There must be certain mechanism where that helped you go through the stage very smoothly. And because my friends, I would not like to name, but they went through a lot of turmoils that also affected their mental health only because of the fear of not being able to meet anytime soon. So what about you guys, being an international student with a lot of uncertainties? How did you cope up with these things? Maybe starting from Mojtaba itself.
So for me personally, I'm quite a reserved person and I'm quite Uh, I don't know if secretive is the right word or closed is the right word. So I don't normally open up to people very easily. I refrain from showing my inner emotions. So basically, it's very tough to get word out of my mouth if that's the case. But when COVID hit and then we were spending most of the time at home, that helped me become closer to my flatmates, and that was really good. So we started sharing a really close bond together. We got to know each other a lot more and a lot better than if there was no COVID happening, because then we would be just going along with our lives and just normal meetups. Hello, how are you? Normal going here and there. But I learned to become more open, to speak a lot more. Although still, I would say it's less. It's not enough, but I guess it's a huge step for me, at least. Being able to talk about myself and talk about any issues that's going with me. So that was really helpful for me, talking out. Uh, but at the same time, I really did not let this issue play with my mental health. I feel uh, still, thanks to God, this is still nothing compared to what others might be going through or what maybe is there for me years down the line in my life. So I do not want this to affect that. Um, Going for basic things, so like it's as simple as going for walks. So I'm quite a lazy person at the same time. So during the stage four restrictions, I would patch up with a friend of mine, and then we would go for normal 15-20 minutes, half an hour walks. And then I started tennis. Uh, and although I'm bad at it, and I've left it after 2 months, but it was good. You put your mind into something else. And then the important thing is to have a vision, is to have hope, is to have faith as to where you want your life to go, where you envision yourself being 5 years down the line. And then at the same time, I made a new friend a few months ago, and then his motivation was amazing, and I really like talking to him, and then seeing him have vision for himself helped me to start envisioning something for myself. So you know how normally we prepare for interviews, as in we expect somebody to ask us, where do you expect yourself to be 10 years down the line? And then we prepare a textbook answer for that interview. So this person had a real answer prepared for his life, and then he was moving towards that direction. So that was something very basic, if you ask me. But at the same time, I think it was something nobody really does, to keep keep an objective and then plan your life to reach that. So that made me plan and envision for myself, like I'm 25, where do I want to be when I'm 30, or where do I want to be when I'm 40? So I started to focus more on that and started to develop skills which would help me reach there. So yeah, like a mixture of all of these really helps you to focus, really keeps your mind away. And yeah, that's how I've been
So the
going out.
unhindered, very, very stern focus, and be very clear about your passion and how you want to see your future can help you just just hurdle off all those emotions or all those small, I would say not small, but the family pressures you get or the emotional traumas, the pendulum that you go through. So that's a very nice point, Mojtaba. I feel yes. If we are strong from our mind, I'm so sure all those things that come in our heart we'll be able to pass through it. What do you think on that, Behram?
Yeah, for me, as
So what
I
do your responses to it?
yeah, for me, as I mentioned, my friends helped me, and they are still helping me too much. Uh, Second, thanks to technology, we actually, my wife and I haven't stopped anything. Even for birthday, we call each other by WhatsApp, and we celebrated birthdays, any or anniversaries, anything. We You don't need to stop. Sometimes you need to change the way. You need to change your thoughts. Mm. And it is a new it is a new experience. I'm seeing this situation as a new experience.
As a challenge to
So
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And in this situation, you can know that how resistant you are.
Wow.
Yeah. And uh, third, uh, the third solution, I actually not solution. I'm a PhD student. I'm a student, and I have different deadlines. I have to study. I have to work. There is no
Yes, yes,
actually no opportunity to waste time. There is no
yes.
I have to work, and I'm thinking about future. This time is difficult. Okay, but I don't want to ruin my future.
Definitely.
If I
You know,
Yeah, if I don't work now, if I just say no, this is a tough time, I cannot concentrate, and blah blah blah, I will ruin my future. There is no point in this, in such view.
I really love how you guys are very high open and very strong, passionate young gens who are very strong enough to not let the emotions just ride away their future. And I feel this is the passion or the positivity that you carry has let you pass through the stage. And I would not say that we still are gotten the solution. We can still meet the family, but I feel this is the drive that will keep you moving, even even if Andrews does not open the border by the end of this year. I really like how you have put the idea of social cultures, positivity, mindfulness in our talk this time.
And before you move on, if I may interrupt, one thing which Behram said about technology, I feel we take technology for granted at times. And although we are not physically connected, technology has made us really, really close. So I remember when we had initially moved to India, it was the year 2000, 2001. So my mother would communicate with her parents and then with her siblings through actually writing letters. So back then, we would maybe speak once or twice a month at the most because of the exorbitant rates of international telephone calling.
Right.
And then if there would be passengers going back and forth between India and Iran, I would remember uh, we getting letters, and then my mother would keep those letters, and I'm sure she still has those letters. And then we would write letters and then send it back across. So communication was extremely slow. So like what my mother went through in her initial years is like nothing compared to this. Like I can right now, I can even add my mother to this conference over here without, without much effort.
Right.
So we are still connected. So there is not much need for being so much skeptical about this. But at the same time, there are certain expectations you would have uh, from the government with the rules and regulations. But as Behram said, it's part of life, and then we don't have much say on that. But in the end, there are expectations from my side, and I'm sure from most of the international students' side, which have not been met. So
Definitely.
basically, we have not been given what we were promised. We were not respected as much. But it's part of life, and then life moves on. We
Yeah,
need
for
to
Definitely.
look
sure.
ahead.
I,
You cannot fight against everything. We cannot do anything in this situation. We cannot open the border. So just
Yeah,
we have to accept it and live. We are alive. We are living. We should live even in this
thank you.
yeah,
situation.
Yeah, Behram. That's a very nice point, in fact. The level of acceptance. Sometimes we are not able to accept the reality itself because it's so brutal. But we should let ourselves know the channel, the wheel of time. It will do pass. It will, from every dawn till dusk, you'll definitely get the light of happiness again. And coming to the Mojtaba points about government and how we're looking for promising answers, even today, about borders, about educational setups, about things still being online. I just hope things could be sorted very easily, and we are not yet left hollow or uncopable in future as well. So, as we are nearly in the end of winding up the show, I, on behalf of the forum, would like to thank both of you, Mushtaba and Behram, for being part of this chat show, and also, most importantly, Saleha, the founder of Chai Chat and Community, for giving us the opportunity of speaking about it, and also to all my lovely audience for their massive attention, efforts, time, participation, and engagement. I hope the shared bond within us never dies and we are able to rekindle with our family in no time. But till then, stay safe and always stay connected. Thank you so much, guys.
thank you very much, Anjali.